They are located in Davidson, North Carolina, while serving all of North and South Carolina to the Florida coast and the Tennessee mountains. They are the Mortgage Planner, the Carolina's #1 mortgage radio, premium lending experience, along with mortgage planning that builds wealth. Ranked top of the nation for over 3 generations, 3-time best-selling author, here's your host, Brad and Jacob Roche.
Welcome to The Plan. This is Brad Roche, the Mortgage Planner, joined with Jacob Roche in the studio. Welcome back to The Plan for theplan.com. How are you, Jacob?
Doing well. Glad to be here.
Can I have a quarter?
Yeah.
Why is that funny to you? Can I have a quarter?
Yeah, rates went up about a quarter.
Man, can I have it back? Give me a quarter. Unbelievable.
Yeah, right.
1 week goes by. Fed announces, hey, we're going to lower rates. A couple weeks go by, right? That was 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
2 weeks go by, and now we're up a quarter from
September 18th. Now we're going back up. It seems like the jobs report that came out last week
really rocked it.
Yeah, it was a good jobs report, which is not good for mortgage news.
How do we know that the jobs report is accurate? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we don't.
You remember that they missed 840,000 jobs?
Yeah, it was just
about a month ago?
Yeah, it was.
They missed that.
Yeah, miscounted. Only one job you can do that in.
It's unreal. It's unreal. That and the weather, brother.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, who gives
Two
a
jobs
crap,
you can be wrong.
So the jobs report came in really well. Don't know if it's accurate, but we're going to rise the rates to see if we can make it a little bit more unaffordable for more people out there buying a house.
Exactly
crazy.
right.
Well, welcome to The Plan. We do this, and that was our comedy show for the little bit of the stuff, but we're going to cover the most Googled questions today. We've got a few new ones, and we've got some questions sent in by our wonderful listeners. We appreciate you listening and putting some feedback at fortheplan.com. One of the biggest questions, I kind of thought this was interesting, was what can I afford?
That's a good question.
How would you, being newer into this, you get to go in and do the dirty work behind the scenes and plug it in the Encompass and run Optimal Blue. These are all terminologies and stuff we get to go in and pull numbers from, qualifications, run automated approvals for multiple different programs. How would you explain it? What I qualify? How would you start?
I would say we go off of your gross income.
Great start.
Before taxes. Because I don't think a lot of people automatically think it's what I take home.
Yeah. So use the higher amount that and also always go worst case scenario. Meaning if you made less this year, don't take a 2-year average. Use what you made this year.
Yeah, exactly. I honestly, I would ask you this question. Because they tell us, they give us certain percentages of house to income or debt to income.
It's all kind of BS.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
I was going to say, to have an answer, we run off of automated approval system, automated underwriting system. So, that's really where I get my yes or no.
Which means that you could have somebody at a ratio of 50 go through, and you could have somebody at a 49 and not go through.
Yeah, exactly.
Because their credit score might be different.
Yeah, or down payment might be different, cash reserves, a lot of different things that go into it. But what I would say is about take all your debt towards your income plus your new house payment. And what would you say, 45% just to be safe?
Well, we're using gross, using the before they take taxes out, that's the main number. Then I would look at 33%.
Okay.
And I would take the 33% and say that's the most house you can buy.
Yeah.
Right there. That I would stay at that number because that's going to be really close. Now, can you go higher? Yeah, but that would be the most house you can do. Now let's do some math here. I'm going to get my pen out because when I run it, I first want to know what can I qualify for. Where I'm saying take 33% of your gross income. Okay. Well, then you also have to subtract homeowners insurance, taxes, and HOA, and that's going to give you your principal and interest amount to figure out how much home you can afford.
Yeah.
And there's plenty of calculators for it. We can walk you through at fortheplan.com. You can do that. But my point is just because you take 33% doesn't mean we're going to have to take a couple things off that to see what that would be. But it would give you your total payment.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a nice way to start. And and I use the BS, the initials. I don't know what that stands for. I won't say it on the air, but it ranges too much.
Yeah.
It's too different from program to program to say, oh, you got to be at this ratio. It's not true.
Yeah. So get a plan together and see what you do qualify for. It might be a little bit higher than that 33% or might be a little lower.
We had a guy, VA, long time ago, veteran.
Yeah.
Debt ratio is 65, 80, something like that. Crazy. Went through.
I do remember that. Yeah. We had one close that was at 60% debt to income.
Now that's VA though.
Yeah.
VA is different.
Yeah. FHA a little bit different too. They allow for a little bit higher debt to income. So there's definitely some programs out there. If you're looking to look for more affordability, more buying power, might be able to help you there.
Simplest way to qualify for what you want to qualify for, or get that ballpark number, is take your gross income, divide it by 12, right? Monthly, years and monthly, and just take 33% of that and say that's probably the house payment. Now, if you got a bunch of debt, we're going to run it a little bit different.
Yeah.
But if you're looking for like what's the house payment they're going to usually be at, now there is the payment shock. You know that.
Yeah.
That's not a term that we've thrown around a lot on the show. Payment shock.
Yeah. For me, I mean, isn't that when it about doubles, or it's a percentage of your current what you're currently paying towards what your new mortgage payment will be?
It's like driving a Yugo. Do you know what a Yugo is?
No. No.
You old listeners out there, you know what a Yugo is? That used to be a really, really cheap car.
Oh.
Okay. It wasn't a great car. I don't think so. Well, it'd be like that going into a Cadillac. You know what a Cadillac is?
Yeah.
That's a nice car, right? So it's just a lot difference in the numbers.
Yeah, okay.
Huge difference.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Does it? You don't even know what Yugo is. Next question. What is the first step to buying a house?
Get a plan with us.
Oh,
I mean, really.
man, we're done there. Mic drop. Go to fortheplan.com. Well, I think that you want to have some money in reserve.
Yeah.
You do. I think that would probably, so there's so many programs out that'll say like you can go zero down and really get into it cheap. But the honest answer is you're buying a house, bills come up crazy,
Yeah.
you're building a family, hospital bills come in, even if you got insurance. You got to have some planning. And what is the best way would be have like at least 3 house payments packed in reserve.
Yeah, I would agree. Just adding some security. Also, it looks good to us, seeing that you have some money left over called cash reserves once the transaction's complete.
Cash reserves is number 1.
Yeah.
You don't have to have it. That's just smart buying.
Yeah.
Number 2 is you also don't have to have 20% down though either.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know. Like if you came in, you young guy buying a house, you come in and say, hey, I got 20% down. I'm going to tell you, don't do that.
Yeah, I agree.
I would not put all that down. Even if you had $1 million, I'd say, well, how'd you get it? First, I'd ask you how you get that $1 million. How'd you do that? But when we're really looking at this, it's like you want to be able to structure it so you can get into it at an amount that balances your savings too.
Yeah.
Because here's what is on 99% of the loans out there. You can change your mind after your down payment.
Known as a recast.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
Not a refinance. You can just throw a couple $100 application fee, throw another $20,000 at it, and they'll lower your payment.
Yeah, exactly. It puts you more in the driver's seat, lets you navigate through, I guess you could say, opposed to going 50% down to start off. Why not go 20? And then you avoid PMI, get a good rate off of it.
And everyone has a different season, so don't let us put a blanket on that. Like if you're an older person buying a house, you might want to put more down, manage the payment against Social Security, retirement money coming in. Everybody's got a different plan. But as a youngster going out and buying, I call you youngster, you like that?
Yeah.
Youngster going out buying it, you don't want to put all that. You want some money in the savings account. You want to build the savings, you want to build equity. You want to do both.
Yeah.
And I would say youngster is anybody buying under the age of 30, maybe their first, second house.
Yeah.
Would be a smart way to do it. You're listening to The Plan, 704-412-2727, or go to fortheplan.com. We've got a lot on the show to cover. We've got an event coming up October 23rd, is it?
24th.
24th. Don't show up on the 23rd. We won't be there. So show up on the 24th, October 24th. It is on fortheplan.com. You can register there if you've thought about investing in real estate. Even just wanted to ask some great questions, get some feedback, different answers on how to get it started.
Yeah, meet some great people.
Yeah, great place to go hang out. We've got drinks, we've got pizza, we've got Lake Norman right there in the background. It doesn't get any better.
Yeah, it doesn't get better than that.
Well, it does. It does. That's our Pie Fest coming up that we're doing, our
true.
Fall Fest. That does get a little bit better because we're throwing pie and wine tasting in that. We've got a good time. If you go to fortheplan.com to make sure you check out all the events, you're also going to see Mortgage Planner University where you can register for free, get 6 hours of training. We can help you buy your first, second, third, 10th house, investment property, whichever one it is, the right way, a little bit smarter. So we'll be back with a few more questions from you guys and how we can answer and help you buy your first or second house and get you a plan for your mortgage. You've been listening to The Plan. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to The Plan. This is Jacob Roche, joined in the studio with Brad Roche. We're just going over the most Google questions that you all had sent in to us based on what do you need to know to buy a house?
Yeah, and this third one throws me back. How's a mortgage work?
What are you
talking about?
I thought that was a pretty good question.
I thought it was like, that's a weird one. You thought that was good. How's it work? What do you mean? You borrow money and you pay it back?
Yeah. I mean,
I don't think that's what they were asking.
That's pretty simple, but yeah, I would say, how does a mortgage work? So people typically think that you pay a mortgage. I'm thinking first of the payment, or how does the payment work?
Yeah.
Is that how you took it along those lines?
No, I thought it was a stupid question.
Yeah.
I didn't take that. How does a mortgage work? You borrowing money and paying it back, and you're basically saying, like, how's it different than rent? Maybe.
Yeah.
Where you pay before you live there, you're paying in advance of the month. A mortgage you pay behind, like you live there for 30 days and then the payment is due.
Yeah. So if we closed on a property, let's say November 1st, your first payment would be skip December. No, it would be January 1st, first of the year.
Yeah. So you would actually, you're paying in arrears.
Yeah.
Paying in arrears. So even when you order a payoff, you're going to have added interest on there that doesn't show. Like if your credit report shows you owe $236,000, it's not what your payoff's going to come in at.
Yeah.
238, a couple grand more higher.
Yeah. Exactly.
Counting into that interest that you skipped at the beginning when you got the mortgage. But how does it work? What would be important to me on a mortgage, how it works? The first 2 years.
Yeah.
Why? Because most of it is interest. And if you can compound or prepay on that, it all goes downhill from there. You get more principal. Have you ever looked at an amortization schedule?
I have,
Honestly,
actually.
You have?
Yeah.
I haven't looked at one in years.
A majority is interest for the first 2 years.
Right.
Yeah.
So what do I want to know how a mortgage works? You lose if you don't prepay on the loan.
Yeah.
And if you do prepay, minimal, like we pounded on the show, prepaying on your mortgage, $25, round it up. I just got that done at the grocery store. I was at Lowe's Foods. They said, you want to round up? I said, of course, I'm preaching round up. Let's do it. But that is how you offset any loss to getting into a mortgage that you really can control.
Yeah, it is.
That's a good way.
It'll save hundreds of thousands on interest if you're planning it right.
Now, this next one's kind of weird. Hey, Brad and Jacob, I'm interested in getting a house, and I wanted to find out what credit score is needed to buy a house. Well, that's tough.
That is tough.
You have a 500, right?
Yeah, it's really all over.
500.
We did close one around 500. Now, he put about 50% down. I don't think he monitored his credit at all, really. So,
how does a guy do that? Just think about that.
Yeah, right.
My credit score is real bad, but I got 50% down. Here's a couple $100,000. I guess things can happen.
It was
different circumstances.
$300,000 down, but that's going to get approval. I think that you can pay that back.
Yeah,
regardless of credit score, in my opinion.
So the question is, what credit score do I have to have? Well, the best is that we've ever seen is 850. That is the top tier that you can get. And you need to be like my mom, right? You got to have established credit for a long, long time. Like length of history is 35, 40% of your credit score.
Yeah.
So that's a big part, right? So if you're 20, how much length of history can you really have? You can't. So if you are starting out, how do you get your score popped up a little bit? Become a what do you call
authorized user?
Yeah, authorized user on mom's account.
Yeah.
That would increase your score right away. Or if your score is struggling because of limited credit, that be an authorized user on a parent, family member that you trust, and don't use their card, but use their credit history of doing that. Now, I remember doing that with my parents, and it was probably, I did it on 2 cards that they had for years. Never used them, but see, it added all that length to my score and really built it up quick.
You guys had done that for me, and like mine, I'm about 25, and I think my length of credit is like 14 years.
It's because it's kind of a trick, right?
Yeah,
that's a trick of the trade. So if you're trying to help get a credit score, now you listen to a Dave Ramsey show or some of the other ones, it's credit score. He'll tell you can buy a house without having a credit score. It's true, brother, but you get a penalty for it. I'm doing loans.
It's hard, yeah.
He doesn't do mortgages, and some of that criteria that he covers about not having a credit score, we have loans for it. I do not believe that those are his best price for someone with an 850 or 750 credit score.
Well, there was one that we had. They didn't have a credit score, looking to buy an investment property going DSCR, and we needed to verify their verification of rent in place of not having much credit, if any. So there's some ways around it, but it does make it more difficult. What we recommend is go out to a department store, Walmart, Kohl's.
Walmart, huh? You would go to Walmart?
Maybe not me personally, but a department store.
What's wrong with the Walmart? You don't like that.
But paying a couple $100 a month in gas, groceries, things that you would typically spend in cash, go and pay that off, and that'll build your credit pretty quick.
It's easy to get approved at some of those department stores. Is what I'm joking around, but like a Walmart, Target, Kohl's, some of those places are easier to get a credit card approval, and it builds it really quick and easy.
Yeah.
You can have bad credit and still kind of get them. Now you can also do a secured credit, where you can go to the bank and give them $500, put it in a checking account. They give you a credit card that reports to your credit, and it's your own money.
Yeah.
You can do that. That would probably be last resort. I don't think you have to do that unless the score is really bad where you're really trying to build it up and get out of that.
I would agree. And if talking minimum down payment for, let's say, conventional, would you say it's fair to say about 700 plus credit score with 3% down?
Yeah, otherwise you're going to pay more, and you should go FHA because you're not getting hit on the PMI insurance. See, it's not, this is why this question is so loaded. It also has to do with, you brought it up, down payment.
Yeah.
Like if my score stinks or my score is really good, if you put less down and you got a really good score, you're going to pay a higher rate.
Yeah.
If you put more down and got a bad score, you're going to pay a little higher rate.
Yeah.
If you have good credit and a good down payment, you're going to pay a lesser rate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. You see what I'm saying? So it all goes hand in hand with that. That's tough.
And then also going FHA, you can go 3.5% down, but if your credit score is below 600, typically, I would say you're not getting approval there. If you're going zero down, you definitely need 600 plus. And I even venture to say 620 plus for zero down.
That was what I forgot to say. It was the other option is the PMI though. Like it's not that's a big factor in that loan on a conventional loan. So if you are having any credit issue, the PMI could be I'll round off some numbers. Just kind of give you guys an example. $400,000 house. I got a client going through, and I think they were like a 640, 650. Still can qualify. They're still being approved. But the PMI insurance on it with 5-10% down was like $400, $500, $600, $700. Crazy number, right? A lot a month. But it was based on their credit score, right?
Yeah.
Well, then they can go FHA. I say flip them, but we just changed programs, go FHA, and now they're capped at $200.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, they FHA doesn't change it, and the rate might have been higher, but the PMI was so much less that it was a better deal. That's why you got to really compare apple to apple what you can do on a loan program.
Yeah, and well, regardless, FHA has 0.55 as their set standard for private mortgage insurance, and that's on for the entire life of the mortgage.
So $100,000 loan, $55.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can run your math like that. I think I did that right, did I?
Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
Yeah. No, and then
it's cheap.
And then interest rate is, a good bit lower. Like today, average interest rate for a 30-year fix is 6.62, and then FHA 6.125. So almost 0.5% lower. So while private mortgage insurance might be cheaper, also interest rate as well. So taking into account, while conventional private mortgage insurance will fall off, FHA may be the better option if you're in terms of payment.
My first house was FHA.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. And I think I had refinanced it when I moved, and then I bought my next one FHA. And a lot of it had to do with guidelines or limited credit. I don't remember why I had done that. I think the first time was around a gift. I was able to, my dad had gifted me the down payment, 3.5%. It was a gift of equity, actually. Kind of a weird way to gift something. But like if a relative owns a house, right? Like let's say I own my house and I wanted to, you wanted to buy it.
Yeah.
You, my son. And I think most of it has to be blood-related relative. I'd have to look up guidelines. They've changed some of them, but relative, right? Yeah. So I could sell it to you and actually gift you the down payment. Like I could say, here's 10% of the value I have in the house as a gift to you. They would just show it on paper. Yeah. No real check being written or anything. I'm getting less when I give you the home.
And that's a great loan program for anybody that's looking to get a gift as their down payment.
Well,
it's perfect.
That's a really great program for all those people who get gifts. Yes, gifts are good. Number 4.
But gifts of equity, those could be a little complex. So
well, it's a great way to do it.
Yeah.
And they'll even, like I'll give you an example. If you did 20%, they have no PMI.
Yeah,
and
true.
You can gift that. So a lot of people with good equity, it's an option that can help. So we did credit score. Here's another question we had. How much down payment is required? And, a lot of people, we can go 0.
Yeah.
What is the best rate you get is 30% down.
Yeah, it is.
You're going to get the best terms, no PMI, best interest rate, 30% down.
Regardless of primary, investment property, second home.
30%
30% down is the top
magic
tier.
number, right?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I agree.
I agree. We price loans all day, look at different options on it. 30% down gets you the best deal. Would I do that in everybody's plan? No. Yeah. Like we talked about earlier in the first segment, no, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't have you do that.
First-time home buyer, probably not. While you are avoiding private mortgage insurance and getting the best rate, why not take that money that you were going to put in a down payment and put it in a high-yield saving account, use it with some financial planner in the area, something along those lines?
Well, when you're trying to build, right? And that's why I guess you answer it in different stages. When you're trying to build your net worth, your equity, your cash savings, trying to build your family, however you want to phrase it, when you're trying to build, if you can only put 3.5% or 3% down or 5% and still get good terms, reasonable comparison to 30% down, reasonable comparison to good terms because your credit score is there, it makes more sense to have just a few $1,000s invested versus thousands more invested, like 20% down, and let it grow. Yeah. Let it grow, and keep putting money in the savings. That's building it up.
Yeah, having 2 different avenues of growth, really.
Equity's a big couple questions, like down payment. Put as little down as you can. You can change your mind with a recast, and if you put it all down and you want to change your mind, like, oh, never mind, would have rather not put 50% down. I'm going to charge full price to get that money back out on a refinance. Cash out.
You're right. And also, like, let's say you're a first-time home buyer. You want to go 20% down. We need to qualify you again. So let's say you were working your W-2 job when you purchased the house. A year and a half later, you want to go take some money back out of equity. But in the meantime, you had a job change to self-employed or 1099, well, now we need 2 years history of that.
And you can't pull the money out. You just
Exactly.
locked up your equity.
Yeah, so we can't get that money out unless you want to go and sell.
I think if you're listening and you're hearing what, let's summarize this. Down payment, right? Let's summarize it. Do as little as you can, get favorable terms in comparison to the best. Like if it's 30% down, let me see what 30% down and 3% down is. Let me see the terms, meaning rate and costs and things. And then you can change your mind.
Yeah.
With a simple recast. Okay. So pull recast out. I think that's a big deal for people listening. Also, next question we have on here. Number 6 question we've got. How long does it take to buy a house? Well, in this market, buddy, get you in and out, man, like a car wash.
Yeah, you're right.
No, I'm kidding. It's not that. Now, getting pre-approved can be done in the same day.
Yeah.
Having all your documents reviewed usually same day, if not 2 days max, 24 to 48 hours, get you full approved.
Yeah.
Close on a house anywhere from 2 weeks to a month. But we're going to take a quick break. You are listening to The Plan. Welcome back to The Plan. This is Brad and Jacob Roche with the Mortgage Planners, 704-412-2727. I can't talk when I'm trying to read.
That makes it tough.
I'm like, what's the phone number? What's my name? I got it. I'm Brad. This is Jacob. We're here at The Plan. But I was looking at that last question. It's like, how long does it take to buy a house? You don't rush it.
Yeah.
It's a big thing you're doing. Get the inspections done. It's more like, how do you do it right? And I would say at least 30 to 40 days.
Yeah, I would say typical.
Make sure you get everything
right
done.
now, it's definitely 30 days, and that's no problems.
Now, we have some news. We're going to come back to some of the questions y'all have posted online for us to answer, but we're going to come back to that in just a minute. I'd like to dig into some of the topics in the news. Mortgage applications and refinances at their highest level in over 2 years. Kind of interesting, seeing how we've just got our first rate cut in 4 years.
Yeah, right.
2 and 2 makes 4. Get it? I get it. So that's kind of a no-brainer. But we are seeing a tick in applications for refinances, which has been good. We've actually handled quite a few of them, locked them in at the right time. Some of these clients got great rates.
Yeah, just before the Fed talked.
You called me today, though. I'm quoting you a quarter. Remember at the beginning, I said, give me that quarter?
Yep.
Yeah, we should call this show. The title of this show is Give Me That Quarterback.
Yeah.
I'm not talking football, buddy. But they're up a quarter. Now, interesting, the next headline here is mortgage rates have been climbing slightly with the average 30-year and 15-year notes rising. So it was exact to a quarter. What was the 30-year fixed rate you were looking at today on just conventional Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac loans?
6.62.
Yeah, right. We were at 6.2.
Yeah.
6.1? That's more than a quarter.
Yeah.
We're up. We hit a good slide up.
Yeah, it was.
Wrong way. And that all came out of that great jobs report. And they're so accurate on that. You're hearing me, right?
Yeah.
So, that's accurate information. At least it was, hasn't been in the past. But anyway, I'll get off that. So 15-year might be an option. I think you stretch them out. They're actually coming out with 40-year loans. We've seen a few of those.
I did hear that. Yep. The SCR, it's and they even have interest only on them
You'd
too.
be 60.
Yeah.
Look at you. I bought my first house. I'm 60. I finally paid it off. Like, dang,
Yeah,
man, that's not cool.
You'd be about halfway through.
Yeah.
That's crazy to think about.
Prepay.
Yeah.
Now, yeah, right. But home prices are growing as well. One of the headlines out, home prices grew again the second quarter, and the pace for price increases has fallen. So we're starting, is that saying we're starting? It did grow, and we're starting to see them slow down a little bit?
Yeah.
I think that's accurate for what we see day to day.
I would say so too. A lot of the agents that I work with seem to have price cuts coming up because not too much activity on it, but still movement from our side.
This headline's funny. Housing affordability improved for a fourth straight month, but questions remain about whether recent trends will bring significant number of buyers into the housing market.
I think affordability had increased because rates are coming down now.
Yeah, now they're just
cheaper
back
payments.
up.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I says. I wonder if it'll keep happening. If you keep moving the rates up, they're not going to keep buying.
Yeah, that's true.
That's where it's been for a bit. But housing inventory is now above 2019, the year 2019 levels in some key markets, particular areas of Texas and Florida. So yeah, you got inventories up.
That's good. We were seeing
right?
a large shortage for a long time around the Charlotte market, at least.
Man, you look around Lake Norman, you would say, where are all these people coming from? All the houses that are being built, the apartments that are being built. You know where they're at, though. They're on the traffic, but there's traffic going around. There's no question about that. But that's a lot of people moving to the area. One of the best places to live. We love the Lake Norman area.
Yeah.
We are
one of the top grossing top growing suburbs.
We're privileged to be one of the top lenders at Lake Norman.
Yeah,
I take that with a badge of pride that we have served well over 600 families at the Lake Norman area over the last couple of years here. It's been fantastic. So we appreciate all your help in promoting and passing on our information. Our business is mainly built on referrals. If you know of someone or a friend or family member that would like to have some consultation to what we're doing, have a plan and action. That's what we're here for. Now, the next one here, early forecast. You got this page? This is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
So how do they do, there's so many people that they quote the rates out there. They're putting them out there. So we have this is, I don't know if this is on our website yet, but these are 2025 early forecasts for mortgage rates. Very interesting. First quarter. So January through what? January, February, March?
Yep.
Okay. So January, February, March. Fannie Mae. We got a bunch of people saying this about this. Where's the interest rates on mortgage going to be? Fannie Mae says 6.2. Mortgage Banker Association says 6.4. National Association of Realtors say 6.5. Wells Fargo, the only bank on here, they're at 6.1. They're the lowest. They think they're going to go the lowest. That's kind of ironic, right? Why? Because the case goes busy. It keeps us busy. That's a good thing.
Average of all four, 6.3.
Yeah, so that's reasonable. So next year, if you're wondering where rates are going to be, this is what all the smart guys in the back rooms have calculated out and saying where they're going to be. Now, second quarter, this kind of is interesting. Wells Fargo goes from 6.1 down to 5.95 as their forecast. Everybody in the second quarter drops about 10 basis points. So they went from 6.2 to 6.1, 6.4 to 6.3. So kind of interesting. Now you get down to the fourth quarter of next year. You ready? 5.9.
Yeah, just below 6.
5.9. There's two of them. Fannie Mae says it. Mortgage Bankers Association says it. NAR says 6.3, way off from everybody else.
Yeah.
Wells Fargo says 6.8.
The NAR thinks that all the way through 2025, they'll be staying around the same, within that same.
Sure did, didn't they? Yeah. They put all year, first quarter, first through fourth, 6.5, 6.4, 6.3, 6.3. The average, though, here's the averages of all four. First quarter, 6.3. Second quarter, 6.19, dropped about 10 basis points. Now, third quarter, you're at about 6, just over 6.
Everybody thinks they're going down.
Yeah, that would be the idea. Yeah, we're seeing them going down, and that is the forecast. We had a video that we had watched a while back forecasting that we may see like 150 basis points, which would be about 1% maybe, to the consumer by June of this next year.
I did read in a headline today that J.P. Morgan analysts believe that there'll be another rate cut, a total of 100 basis point rate cut this year. Yeah, before 2025.
I've heard similar where they think we'll still get one more yet this year.
Yeah.
Not with that jobs report that came out. That makes it really hard for the Fed to go in and do that.
Yeah, it does.
They do. So that's where you're going to, you're shoveling. I don't know. That's hard. Shoveling isn't even the right word. See, I just made up a word like you're shoveling. What does that mean? It means, I don't know. You're like, I don't even know how they can do that.
Yeah, you're right.
I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see what the future holds. The next Fed meeting is November 6th and 7th.
November 6th and 7th. Where will you be?
They said there was, again, on Business Insider, when I was reading that article I had brought up, they said that another rate cut was coming, that Fed meeting as well.
They're all saying it, but when did you see these headlines? Today?
Yeah, today, this morning.
When were they published? I'm blowing my point here.
Yeah, I think 4 days ago.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying, before the jobs report came out.
Yeah, you're right.
So we keep seeing jobs reports. Man, that really... Man, that irks me, man.
Yeah, I agree.
Our rates went up because of the jobs report that just came out. That is flat out right.
Because more people are getting jobs, rates go up.
No, that's not what irks me. What irks me is the report we're going off of is the same report that they were off 840,000 jobs.
Yeah.
Now, I know we're talking in the millions, and we've already beat on this a little bit. But if I quoted you a payment of $1,000 and then I said, my bad, it's $1,800, or it's $1,500, man, that is a huge, huge difference. And I just wish it wasn't as volatile to our everyday rates of people who think about this. Hey, I just got my pre-approval done. I got approved on this, and they quoted me 6.25. And so I went out and looked at houses. And then 3 weeks go by, 2 weeks, not even. 2 weeks go by, jobs report comes out, and I say, oh, sorry, man. Instead of 6.25, you're 6.625.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's a big jump.
In a matter of a little bit of time, even though the Fed says rates are coming down and a jobs report comes out. So what is all that forecast we just told you? No good. That's what I'm saying. It's like it's not good. How could it be? Because there are places that can play in the midst of that.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's where you want somebody monitoring.
If there's wars, if there's good news on employment, if there's bad news like hurricanes, things like that, I had a client reach out to me and said rates are probably going down after the Hurricane Helene had come through. And it's like, who knows? We'll see what the job report says.
It's a tough market. When you're hiring a loan officer, some people say I need to shop rates when you're calling around for a mortgage. I should shop rates. I do encourage that. We do it internally. We have several different outlets that we can place your loan with. So we do it internally. But what you are shopping is the person you're hiring.
Yeah.
Not the rate. You're hiring the person. And service is part of it, but to understand in the market, are they watching the charts every day? Did they lock in at the right time before the stupid report came out that might be accurate or might not after the election? It might just come out and say, oh, we're off a couple 100,000.
Yeah.
If that report was off a couple 100,000 on this last one, or let's just say 100,000, it would totally have changed what happened to the interest rates.
Yeah, you're right. They probably would have stayed steady today.
Did we get a credit from their error? I bet we didn't. Like on this report, hey, here's a little credit.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That'd been nice.
I'll
see rates come back down.
We don't have a long enough show for me to go on about that. So I want to go back to some of the questions you all have asked, and we are going to take a quick break. Before we get into the last few, we've covered how to buy a house with down payments required, several different things, got some headlines covering. Forecasts are out. You can check them at fortheplan.com. If we can help you or someone you care about with a mortgage, please reach out to us. 704-412-2727 at fortheplan.com. We'll be right back. Welcome back to The Plan. This is Brad and Jacob Roche, the Mortgage Planner, 704-412-2727 direct dial. And you got some featured properties. We got a couple under contract on the show. It's gone really well.
Yeah.
People listening, getting all kinds of credits. Sellers have, realtors have, lenders have, all thrown in the pot to get a little bit of discount on some of these properties. What do you have for us today?
For this, there are actually a couple price cuts on the featured properties. Again, these are agents that I work with that wanted me to promote these on the show. $2,500 lender credit that we're able to give on each of these properties.
I bet they did want you to promote that on the show. You're giving them $2,500 for buying that property.
They like that idea a lot. So first one I'd like to cover, and again, these are on our website on fortheplan.com. Have graphics there if you scroll down a bit. The first one, 177 Bellaline Drive in Mooresville, and this is on the not Lakeside, to the right of I-77.
Who has this one listed? What company is that? Do you know?
That's EXP.
Oh, EXP. Okay. So, I got it right here. Yeah. $349,999.
Yep. And actually, that just had a price cut over the weekend to $329,999.
10 grand off.
20 grand off.
$3,500 lender credit, 3-bedroom, 2-bath. It's a little smaller house.
Yep.
1,207 square feet.
Good investment property for the downtown Mooresville. Needs a little bit of work done to it, but good investment.
Where's it at in Mooresville?
Good rents around there.
No?
Over the towards downtown Mooresville, I guess would be the easiest way to say it.
I was looking for, is it near the burger shop I like a lot? Or is it near the Apps and Taps or the Ghost Brewery downtown? We're not sure.
About a mile from all that, yeah.
Long walk home after a couple beers.
Yeah, it's a long walk.
That's what I was looking for.
I want to grab a bike.
What's this other one you have from North Group?
This one, I like this one a lot. It's a
really pretty
luxury renovation. It's a split level. And
this is a renovation?
Yeah.
So somebody remodeled this. And we have loans for those as well. If you were thinking about buying a piece of junk and wanting to fix it up, we have a loan for that too.
Now this one was from a great contractor that we work with, 7501 Limerick Drive in Charlotte. Zip code, not right outside the city. It's 28270. So not right in Uptown, but just outside, closer towards the Mint Hill area.
It's pretty, man.
Recently, yeah, very. I actually
classy.
I held an open house there, and I got to say, this is a split level, so it was an older home, but the way they redid it, it looks brand new.
So split level, my aunt had a split level. You kind of define that. Somebody doesn't know what that is.
You walk in, and then there's a landing right there when you first walk in the front door. Yep, and then there's an option to go downstairs or upstairs, and then
or just stand there because you're not going to go anywhere okay.
There's not much room in the front, but the upstairs open floor plan, they just had a price cut to that one too, from $835 to now $799. Now this is, I believe it's 4-bed, 3-bath, was it?
Yeah, 4-bedroom, 3-bath, 2,503 square foot, no HOA.
Yeah, no HOA on it.
You got $2,500 credit. There's all kinds of. If you do go to fortheplan.com, which we are counting on you to do that, check out these listings. You can click on them. They're actually a whole website. If you click the picture, you can go and see all kinds of details, financing options on all of them.
Yeah, be sure to check out the pictures on that 7501 Limerick. It's very cool renovation that they did. Luxury everything.
Are they looking, is this either one of these more geared towards an investor or primary in any way, talking to the realtors?
The primary residence for 7501. I don't.
That's the EXP house?
That's the North Group one, the luxury flip there. That one.
Luxury flip.
It is. I would have
Looks
to say,
like it.
I walked in and I was like, wow, it's very high end, everything to finishes to countertops, everything in that.
So what are they considering
top
that?
of the
More
line.
of an investor or primary?
That one I would consider personally, and
So would
really,
I.
he agreed with me. Primary residence,
Yeah.
and I could say for 177 that our Bella Lane on there.
That's the 1,200 square foot house for $349.
Yep,
And that's reduced.
yeah, 329 now, or
Wow.
call it 330. But that I would say an investment property for that one.
Both of these coming to you with about $2,500 lender credit on one. The what'd you call it? Luxury flip.
Yeah,
I like that.
yeah.
$2,500 credit, $3,500 credit on the investment opportunity. We could call that. You do have an HOA. Any idea what that is?
It's cheap. I under 30 a month. I
Okay,
believe.
so very minimal. And we have one other house on there. This one here, 657-4. This one is out in Troutman, is it not? Or no? This is Davidson plan. Brand new construction house. We do have that. This is a model out in Troutman
Yeah. Okay.
that they're building. And you can check that one out. We have a 1%. Now, you can use, so when we put on here $2,500 or $3,500 lender credit, you can use that in this weird market to buy your interest rate down temporarily for 1 year.
Yeah.
And that would be a 1.0 buy down. We've talked about that on the show. That would really come into play very well for a lot of clients right now.
It really would. Like we were saying earlier, 6.62 is average right now. So 5.625.
But you got to bump that. I was explaining that to somebody on the phone today that she said, well, you quoted 30-year fixed rate. I'll write this down for you so you can kind of follow what I'm saying. They were at like 6.5 for a 30-year. Okay, no points. But it was like 6.75 to 6.875 for the buy down.
Oh.
And she said, why is my rate higher? Because it's a specialty product. They do charge a little bit more for it.
Yeah.
So, but it would put them at 5.75 the first year, which
Yeah.
is better than 6.5.
Yeah.
And if they refinance in our 5-year pledge, which gives them discounts, they would get money refunded because of that temporary buy down. That's the kicker on this, refunding on it.
Yeah. I think
There's so
it's,
many creative ways to get into a property.
yeah, a little bit of a loophole there, being able to apply it back to your principal opposed to paying points down. We could get you to the 6.5, but again, it would come with some points with doing the buy down.
Yeah. So now we look at home price appreciation forecast. We forecasted rates. Everybody's expecting them next year, 2025, to be between 6.3 to 5.98 by end of year. So 6% is pretty close to 6.25. Now the home appreciation, where they're talking about a lot of different people went through this. Now this is nationwide. Also had a lot of different companies. There's 10 of them that went after these numbers of percentage of appreciation that they're anticipating, all the way from Goldman Sachs did one, Wells Fargo, HPES. Who is that? Do you know?
I'm not sure. It sounds familiar.
Happy people eating something. Okay, I don't know. Fannie Mae. We'll disregard that one. Probably somebody very popular. I have no idea.
Yeah,
I
it
should
is.
know, right?
I can't think of who it is.
Fannie Mae did one. Morgan Stanley did one. Mortgage Bankers Association did one. National Association of Realtors did one. Freddie Mac did one, and Moody's Analytics did one. And they're all anticipating. This is kind of a harder one. It would be the average of all of them. Funny, Freddie Mac is way down at not even 1%. But Goldman Sachs is at 4.4 with an average of around 2.6%.
Yeah. And 2.6 averaging on all of them. But I mean, it really ranges. Goldman Sachs is 4.4% appreciation, which I hope we get, versus
Moody's at 0.3.
Yeah.
Not even a full percent.
Staying steady, which I have a hard time believing. If rates come down, I think more buyers will happy to buy at that point a little bit more.
We would all
little bit
hope
more
so,
eager.
especially being in the mortgage business. It's time to turn this around a little bit and get these rates moving in the right direction.
I do wonder on these house appreciation forecasts if it is per area. Like I know Florida probably.
I don't really like this chart.
Yeah, I agree. Well, Florida, I don't think they might be able to see appreciation steadying out with recent events, things like that, homeowners insurance, whatever's going on in Florida. But then
a big storm coming.
Yeah,
through.
exactly. But also Charlotte area, I could see 4% here.
And I wouldn't necessarily see. That's hard, right? You're taking in Charlotte, Gastonia.
Yeah.
You're taking in Lake Norman.
Yeah.
Down in the Point. Those totally different areas. They could be described as you're taking Salisbury.
Yeah.
You take down, it's all so far stretched to say here's an average of appreciation. It's definitely neighborhood pocketed.
Yeah,
No
I agree
question
with
about that. So take that one with a grain of salt.
Area specific.
Housing turnover rate. The housing turnover rate has hit its lowest level in 30 years. You know what a turnover is? No. Turnover. Like we used to run breakfast places. And when we ran the breakfast places, we always wondered how people would ask you how not normal people, but people in the business would ask you how often does your table turn?
Yeah.
And that means, well, they sit down, they eat for 25 minutes, and then it's up. So every 25 minutes, I got a new table. So then you could figure out how many tables you could actually turn.
Yeah.
Right. So if I got 10 tables, they all turn in 20 minutes. You're turning them every 20 minutes. You do the math from there.
Yeah.
And this is talking about how houses are turning over, meaning I sell, you come move in. Like somebody else comes down and sit, somebody else comes in and buys that house. So housing turnover rate hit the lowest rate in 30 years. That means people are staying in the houses they have.
Because they have a 3%,
That's it,
2%
man.
rate.
Why would they turn over?
Yeah, I agree.
I went off on that. When you were sick on the show we did a couple weeks ago, and we were talking about the journey. And whether you know someone in a journey, we can help out. Whether you're getting first married, having a baby, growing your family, maybe you got kids going to college, different stage. Maybe you're downsizing. Maybe you're buying a second home. Maybe the investment, the whole journey. And you can find that at fortheplan.com. But as we looked at that, the housing turnover rate hitting its lowest level really puts a damper on any of the journey. When you look, this is what I went off about. It's like, well, if I'm at 3 and I got a house, I'm going to be at 6 to go buy another house that's appreciated a lot. I'm going to get a lot less house if I'm trying to downsize.
Yeah.
Like it's downsize.
Yeah.
It would have to be.
Well, also, even if like
down,
like right now,
2 downs. You catch that?
Yeah. Well, like right now, I would say like if I was to have a kid in the next 2 years, would I think about staying put? My house could suit it right now, and I think a lot of people have at the 3%. If they have an extra bedroom, they're like, okay, that's fair.
You'd stay if you were at 3. You won't because you're at 6.
Exactly. I won't. Right. I'd move. I'd keep going up.
Yeah, I think that's the difference in why we've hit that low, which also plays in the part of inventory.
I do wonder, isn't it? I heard a stat out there. Every 7 years, it's on average for a house to turn.
Yes.
Have you heard that before?
Yeah.
I wonder. With this information, housing turnover rate hits the lowest level.
No way.
It can't be 7 years anymore.
We always would say the average American moves every 7 years. That stat has been out there for a long time. There's no way now.
Yeah.
Not with being in that 3% range. I think I've mentioned this to you, because I work with someone in Canada who does mortgages. I consult them. I have in the past. And, they don't offer a 30-year fixed.
Yeah.
It's 5-year.
5-year arms only, right?
That's it.
Yeah.
Every 5 years, you got to redo your loan there.
Oh, that'd be nice.
If you're in commission in the mortgage business, yes, it would. I would agree, right? But as a consumer, think about it. They got 3, and now they bought that. That's a real roller coaster. You don't have any stability in your house payment, right? Like, so, okay, give you an example. They locked in at 3. 5 years goes by. Now they got to be at 6. Man, their house payment's going to double, man. That's a lot.
Yeah, you're right.
I think that can add up. And if you want to plan and you're not in Canada, we can help you. 704-412-2727. Lots of different options, lots of different forecasts coming out. The point is to have a plan. Thank you for tuning in to Jacob and myself. We'll hopefully have you back next week. For more information, other shows, you can check it out at fortheplan.com. See you next week.